Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another top 10 video right here on TetraBitGaming. So by now you're probably aware of the major gimmick behind Super Mario Odyssey. Mario can now use his new companion Cappy in a variety of ways, offering a new style of play for a 3D Mario game. But one of the coolest new features is to capture various characters, enemies, and objects throughout the many kingdoms Mario gets to visit on his journey. Obviously though, some of these captures are a bit more useful than others. So in this video, I will be ranking my top 10 best captures that Mario can possess in Super Mario Odyssey. There are quite a few captures in this game, so chances are that I might not include some of your favorites. So if I don't, let me know what your favorites are down in the comment section below. And just like in my top 10 Super Mario Odyssey costumes video, this video will probably contain spoilers for those of you who haven't yet played through the entire game. And as always, really quickly before we begin, if at any point you guys do enjoy this video, don't forget to slap a like down below. It seriously helps me out a lot. And with all that fun stuff out of the way, let's jump right into my list of the top 10 captures in Super Mario Odyssey. And kicking off this list at the number 10 spot are Bowser's cannon fodder, the Goombas. If you've seen my list of the top 10 worst enemies in Mario games, you'll know that I think Goombas are pretty weak and have basically been a non-issue in most Mario games. Thankfully, although Super Mario Odyssey doesn't make them that much more of a threat, the Goombas do play a bigger role and have much more of a use this time. After throwing Cappy, you can now run around as a Goomba, and I guess they must have some pretty grippy shoes because as a Goomba you don't have to worry about slipping on ice either, which can be pretty handy. And that's not even the best part of capturing them either. After capturing just a single Goomba, by jumping on another Goomba you can begin to create a large Goomba tower that grows with every Goomba that you jump on. By controlling this Goomba tower, you can reach high up blocks and platforms, and you can also reach up to a Lady Goomba to get your Goomba moves on in order to charm her into giving you a power move. Now that's what some might call a better love story than Twilight. Again, if you've seen my other videos, you will also know that I am no fan of the Hammer Bros in the original Super Mario Bros. Due to how many game overs they have caused me. The first time you capture Hammer Bro in Super Mario Odyssey, you won't actually be throwing hammers at all. Instead, to keep up with the Luncheon Kingdom aesthetic, they throw an unlimited supply of frying pans, which I thought was pretty funny. By using these frying pans or hammers, you can quickly dispatch other enemies and break down these cheese blocks. At least I think they're supposed to be cheese blocks, who knows. Although their hop is sometimes awkward to time with platforming, they do have the ability to jump really high. I can happily say that capturing these guys in Super Mario Odyssey has at least slightly improved my outlook on them. I'm sure just about everyone was both amazed and puzzled the moment they saw Mario jump out of a TRex at the 2017 Super Mario Odyssey E3 trailer. It was at this moment that Nintendo set the bar for what to expect from this game. And boy, let me tell you, this is a fun capture to play as. As the T-Rex, you can run around and destroy basically any enemy and other obstacles in your way. The only reason this capture is so low on this list is because I feel that it is criminally underused throughout the game. I mean, I think you get like 3 or 4 chances to play as the T-Rex in the whole game, and each of those times is just for a small segment. I get that it didn't make much sense to feature the T-Rex in most of the other kingdoms, but at the same time, I still think that there should have been at least more moons in the game that required the T-Rex in one way or another. Another cool new enemy that gets introduced towards the end of the game are the Pokeos featured in Bowser's Kingdom. These hummingbird-esque enemies waddle around and are able to extend their beaks pretty far. And as you can imagine, this beak attack is the main reason you'd want to capture these guys. Not only can you use this beak attack to hit other enemies and collect coins that are found off of an edge, you can also jam the beak into certain walls. By doing so, you can now use the Pokeo beak to fling yourself in any direction. You just have to be careful to stick your beak back in after each jump. This move is super useful in climbing up a wall or to move along the side of a wall and reach certain areas that you can't normally get to. Another enemy capture that got me super excited for this game from the E3 trailer was seeing that Mario could capture a bullet bill. If you've played a game with a bullet bill before, controlling them is exactly how you'd expect. As a bullet bill, you can fly around at the same elevation and reach faraway areas, break certain blocks, or even exploit some speedrunning tricks. To tell you the truth, I honestly have a fun time just capturing them and flying around for no reason. Later in the game, you can also capture the larger bonsai bills, which basically do the exact same thing. But I gotta admit, it's pretty slick to be able to control a 30-foot bullet bill. Most of you probably know I'm not anywhere close to being a fan of most water levels in video games. Be it anything from the original Super Mario Bros. To Jolly Roger Bay in Super Mario 64, something about them just always felt, I guess, cumbersome to me. That being said, I have to admit that being able to control Cheep Cheeps in Super Mario Odyssey makes a big difference. No longer is it a chore to swim around slowly underwater, as after capturing a Cheep Cheep, Mario can now zip around underwater with ease. You can even ascend or descend much faster too. As I'm writing this, I can just imagine how much I would dislike the Lake Kingdom and certain parts of the Seaside Kingdom if it weren't for these dopey guys. Imagine explaining to someone 15 or 20 years ago that one day Mario would be able to throw his hat on a US M4 Sherman inspired tank, then ride around with it in a rainy level based on New York City. Chances are that they probably wouldn't believe you, and that's what makes this capture so awesome. As such, taking the number 4 spot on this list are the tank enemies in the game known as Sherms. As you'd expect, after capturing a Sherm, Mario can use the main cannon to fire a tank shell at enemies and innocent taxis. One of the best things is that you can also fire a shell at faraway items in order to grab them. So if you've missed some purple coins or a moon piece, no longer are they too far to reach. Now that we have a tank enemy, I'm just going to patiently wait until the next Mario game where Nintendo introduces an attack helicopter too.
Oh yeah.
So after defeating Bowser and saving Princess Peach, it seems that peace has been brought back to the world and Mario can return to his home kingdom, the Mushroom Kingdom. For any fan of Super Mario 64, myself included, this kingdom was an absolute treat to discover at the end of the game. The Mushroom Kingdom features many similarities to Peach's castle in previous games, like looking into the ceiling inside Peach's castle to having to jump inside paintings in order to refight the game's bosses. Another similarity is that just like being able to find Yoshi on the roof of Peach's castle after collecting 120 stars, a Yoshi egg can also be found up there in this game as well. This time, rather than giving Mario 100 lives, you get a chance to capture Yoshi instead. Yeah, I guess Mario just got tired of riding Yoshi as he decides it's a better idea to possess him. And just like in Super Mario World, it appears Mario has little to no regard for the life of a Yoshi. As Yoshi, you can extend his tongue to reach faraway coins or berries which are scattered throughout areas you get to control Yoshi in. With Yoshi's tongue, you can also do a sort of wall jump between walls that are far away. And lastly, you can also make use of Yoshi's signature flutter jump in order to reach higher and further away platforms. If you beat Mario Odyssey, you'll know that the climax of the game basically occurs at the last segment after defeating Bowser, because you get to play as Bowser. As the moon's inner cave begins to crumble, Mario has no chance but to take control of his arch nemesis in order to save himself and Princess Peach, who doesn't even seem that thankful. With Bowser under his control, Mario can jump high, claw at large boulders and crumbling walls, and even breathe fire. At one point you even have to transition into an 8-bit segment in which the original Bowser and Princess Peach sprites make an appearance. Although again short-lived in the game like the TRex, this capture was a big surprise for me and the whole Bowser segment was awesome to play through. After playing through the game and capturing several enemies along the way, this was in my opinion the perfect capture to conclude the main game with. As always, before we get to the number 1 spot on this list, here are my honorable mentions that didn't quite make it to my top 10 list for one reason or another. And capping off this list at the number 1 spot is the capture that I found by far to be the most useful in the game. The octopus-like enemies first seen in the Seaside Kingdom known as Gushin are awesome. After capturing a Gushin, you can use his bubbled water supply to not only quickly zip around the surface of the water, which I'd say is an absolute necessity for the Seaside Kingdom, but you can also shoot yourself up in the air to either reach high up areas or fly around until your water supply dries up. The Gushin capture is basically an evolution to Super Mario Sunshine's Flood in the sense that they basically do the same things, although I feel it is much easier to move around with the Gushin capture. The boss fight against the Mollusk Lancer also features the Gush and Capture, as you have to fly around and use him to extinguish the lava on the mollusk's head. All in all, the Gushin is hands down the capture that I used the most in my time playing Super Mario Odyssey, and I definitely think his capture is the best and most useful. And there you have it, my list of the top 10 captures in Super Mario Odyssey. Did you agree with my list? What are some of your favorite captures in the game? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my top 10 Super Mario Odyssey costumes video as well by clicking on the card right here. If you're new here and would like to stay even more up to date with me and the channel, be sure to subscribe as well as follow me on my other social media pages, which will all be linked in the description below. And as always guys, thank you all so much for watching today and for all of your amazing support, and I will see you in a bit.